kids, where are you? It's time for all the art to tell stories.
On the edge of a vast forest lived a lively little bird named Feifei. From a young age, Feifei dreamed of participating in the forest's most famous long-distance flight race. This race was held once a year, where participants had to fly over mountains, lakes, and even cross treacherous deserts before finally returning to the forest. The first to reach the finish line would be the victor. Each race was filled with challenges, and only the bravest and most determined birds could complete it. Feifei practiced flying diligently every day. She knew that the race tested not only speed, but also endurance and determination. Her family and friends cheered her on, and although she was one of the smaller birds in the forest, Feifei had an unwavering belief that she could complete the race. Preparation for the race. As the race day drew closer, the forest buzzed with excitement. Feifei was no exception, and she made thorough preparations every day, planning routes, training her strength, and learning how to conserve energy. Her mother advised the race will have not only changing weather, but also many unforeseen challenges. It's important to persist. Feifei nodded, feeling a mix of anticipation and nervousness. She knew this race would be a significant test in her life, but she was ready to face whatever came her way. On the morning of the race, the sky was clear, and the competing birds gathered, eager to begin. Feifei stood at the starting line, took a deep breath, and thought to herself, "This is the moment I've been waiting for. I must fly my best to the finish." Challenges in the flight. With the sound of the race horn, all the birds took off into the sky. Feifei quickly darted upwards, feeling wonderful. The initial part of the flight went smoothly. Using the techniques she had learned during practice, Feifei maintained a steady pace and flew through the forest, keeping a good position. However, as she crossed the first mountain range, a sudden strong wind disrupted her rhythm. The wind was so powerful that many birds were scattered, and some had to stop the race. Feifei gritted her beak, striving to stay balanced. Although the strong wind made her wings feel heavy, she didn't want to give up easily. Just as Feifei was struggling against the wind, she saw a bird ahead trembling in the gusts. It was a sparrow, even smaller than Feifei, barely able to advance and in danger of falling. Feifei immediately dove towards the sparrow, encouraging it, "Don't give up, we can face this storm together." The sparrow nodded, and with Feifei's help, they flew through the windswept mountains. This made Feifei realize that sometimes helping one another was better than struggling alone. Making new friends. After a long flight, Feifei and the sparrow reached the next stage, a vast lake. The shimmering water looked beautiful, but the endless expanse made Feifei uneasy, as it meant they would have no place to rest for a long time. Feifei knew that if she exhausted herself over the lake, it would be hard to keep up in the next stage of the race. As Feifei worried about this part of the journey, a large eagle flew by. It was one of the strongest birds in the forest. Seeing Feifei and the sparrow, the eagle asked, "Need help? I can fly you both across the lake." Feifei and the sparrow were surprised that such a strong eagle was willing to help them. The eagle guided them, creating stable air currents that saved Feifei and the sparrow a lot of energy. The eagle's kindness warmed Feifei's heart, and she understood that making new friends during the race could become her strongest support. Facing a difficult choice. After crossing the lake, Feifei and her companions reached the final leg of the race, the desert. This desert had an extreme climate, scorching during the day and freezing at night. Feifei felt her wings grow heavier due to the heat, and her energy quickly waned. At this moment, she encountered another participant, a parrot named Speedy. Speedy was a very fast bird and had been leading the race. However, Speedy now looked extremely exhausted, barely able to continue. Feifei faced a tough choice. She knew that if she stopped to help Speedy, she might fall behind and lose her chance of winning. Yet, she couldn't bear to see Speedy struggle alone in such harsh conditions. "Are you okay?" Feifei asked, flying beside Speedy. Gasping for breath, Speedy replied, "I'm too tired. I might not make it to the finish." After a moment of thought, Feifei decided to stay and help Speedy. "It's okay, I'll stay with you. We'll fly through this desert together." So, Feifei slowed down and flew alongside Speedy. Although this decision caused her to fall behind the other participants, Feifei did not regret her choice, understanding that winning wasn't the only goal. The final flight. Together with mutual encouragement, Feifei and Speedy finally emerged from the desert, approaching the last stretch of the race, the return to the forest. By now, the sky had begun to darken, with the sunset casting a beautiful glow over the forest. Both Feifei and Speedy felt extremely tired, but knew the finish line was near. Feifei felt gratitude in her heart, thankful for every friend she met along the way, for the challenges and growth the race brought her. She sped up, flying alongside Speedy toward the finish line. When they reached the finish, other participants had arrived earlier, but all the birds cheered for them. Although Feifei and Speedy didn't win the race, they earned everyone's respect. The lesson of the story. After the long-distance flight race ended, Feifei not only made many new friends, but also learned the values of perseverance and courage. She realized that victory wasn't the most important thing. It was learning how to face difficulties, help each other, and maintain courage in adversity that mattered most. Looking up at the sky, Feifei felt proud. She knew more challenges would await her in the future. But as long as she kept going, no difficulty could stop her from soaring to new heights.